Okay, guys, I'm back, and this is part 2 of me talking about uh, my personal life with dealing with mental illness. Okay, and what I left off with was, when it came down to me, go ahead and start taking my meds, seeing a therapist, and pretty much accepting the fact that I was dealing, that I have a mental illness. And and as I started taking my meds, and started taking my meds, and I'm trying to think, had I started seeing my therapist at this time? But I remember one morning getting ready for church, and I remember the Lord saying to me, He said, "Tell your testimony." And I want you to, I want you to be the first one, give your testimony. Don't wait for nobody else. You be the first one, stand up, like that. And most of the times, I'm very hesitant of getting up, testifying. I'll sit there and pretty much kind of wait till somebody else, if I'm going to get up and say anything. So that's why He was instructing me, I want you to be the first one. Don't wait on nobody else and stuff like that. And as He was telling me that, I'm like, okay, God, why I'm going to tell these folks that I have a mental illness? And it was like, okay, that's a bunch of the devil, and you accepting this sickness, and all that kind of stuff. You don't have the faith and all that. And He told me, He said, look, didn't I tell you that it's not about what you think? It's not about what other people think. It's what I think. He said, I'm going to get the glory out of this. So that shut my mouth, at that point. So I went to church that night, and so later, and it turned, God, I'm telling you all, build your personal relationship with God, because He does amazing things. He fixed it where I ended up being the only one left standing up in order for me to testify. So I gave my testimony about me being diagnosed as having a mental illness and all that kind of stuff, and I was giving God the glory, and I still do give God the glory, because I'm trying to make a long story short, which we all say that, and then the story be longer. But I want God to get the glory out. I mean, God said He's going to get the glory out of this, and I want to be, I just want to flow the way that the Lord want me to explain myself. For one, yes, I thank God that, I thank God for who He is in my life. Okay. And the reason why, first, people will say, okay, well, why would God get the glory out of, you being sick and all that, or whatever, and stuff like that? The reason why God can get the glory out of this is because I know that if it had not been for the Lord, I would have been, I wouldn't be here today. If it had not been for the Lord, I would not have been here today. And you never know what you may be faced in life, what challenges or whatever. I never ever would have thought that I would be, seeing a psychiatrist. And okay, let me get this correct. A psychiatrist is someone that prescribes your medicine, okay? and you probably can talk to them as well, but my psychiatrist prescribes my medicine. I see a therapist, the ones that I talk to help with my anxiety and my depression, okay? This is mine. This is with me, okay? And so, but for me, it was my therapist had also, brought to my attention when he was talking to me, and he was naming because I had accomplished a lot of things, and I thank God for it, because I never would have thought that I been able to go back to college and finish, and on top of that, to get my associate's degree in business administration, and I graduated with honors. And I had been on the dean and honor roll list from the time I started all the way to the end. And I thank and praise God for that. And so the depression part that I was having is that, that I was having was, even though I had accomplished these things, I still did not feel, I still didn't feel good about myself. I still had a lot of negative thoughts in my mind. I had even said, even when I was getting good grades, I was like, okay, is these people just giving me this because they like me? And they wasn't giving me anything. They didn't. I had to write, write my papers. I had to take the quizzes on my own at home, okay? So they was not here helping me. So, but I'm telling you how I was thinking. I'm like, okay, these people, they just doing it because they like me, and, and this and that, because I'm quiet, I don't, give them no problem. But, I ask questions if I needed help, stuff like that. But anyway, I had a lot of negative thoughts, and my anxiety was, was bad. A lot of things I was doing was anxious, panicky moods, or the way I would breathe, or the heaviness in my chest, and all that kind of stuff. And then I was just but through the midst of all of this, through the midst of all its accomplishments and stuff like that. And so when the doctor said to me, he said, Miss Jessica, you are blessed, way blessed, and you think that you are. He said, because here it is that you lived, you've been dealing with this illness for mostly all your life. And you just, pressed through it, try to, get back, try to be normal as others want you to be, and, all that kind of stuff. And you just press all through the midst of, without even knowing that you had a mental illness, not even taking any meds or anything like that. And he said, you pressed through all this for 41 years. For 41 years. And he said, many people have not made it 41 years without even knowing that they had a mental illness, taking any kind of meds and all that kind of stuff. He said, you are blessed. And when he said that, I knew then, I was like, Lord, I am blessed. I am blessed. Because, at the time, I didn't know what was wrong with me. I was, like I said, I was being labeled lazy, and saying I was, picking at my sister and all that kind of stuff. Just, and then, and thoughts had came to mind that me having a panic attack one time at the age of, I think it was like 14 or 15 years old. and I passed out. Okay, and that was a panic attack. I had got so upset about something, but I remember this. And then the thing is, the person said, "Well, you had like you kind of passed out, and like that." And I was like, "For real?" I remember saying, "For real." Next thing you know, whoop! I was on the floor, and then I couldn't hardly catch my breath and everything. So I had a panic attack then. That I literally passed out. So, and I looked at it. Yeah, okay. I was blessed, to still be here today. And through going through my my oh God. Okay, I'm gonna come back. Like I said, I'm trying not to make all these videos real long. Okay, so the next I will be talking about. Oh Jesus. I will be talking about how pretty much like this, what I would do at times. Like my thoughts will go like that. My concentration sometimes. So I'll discuss that part, okay?